Welcome to Profile, Red Apple 21's monthly look at selected schools in Fairfax County. This month, Robinson Secondary School is in the spotlight, and in the next half hour, you'll learn how one of the state's largest schools takes a personal interest in every student enrolled. Robinson Secondary School, located in southwestern Fairfax County, is a school committed to excellence. With an enrollment of over 4,000 7th through 12th graders, this is certainly a challenge, but one that is met by strong staff commitment, a well-organized and carefully planned selection of course offerings, and many opportunities for students to get involved and to feel a part of the school. According to Principal Bill Jackson, Robinson Secondary is moving in one direction.
The overall philosophy of Robinson Secondary School is illustrated in the 10-year study that's just been completed. We have one direction, and that is excellence in the extracurricular and the curricular activities of the school. Our basic philosophy is that we would like to provide the best educational opportunities possible for every student enrolled at Robinson. We're most concerned with the courses that they're taking and the career objectives that they have. Now, Robinson being primarily a school in which a large percentage of the students go on to college, we're very much aware of that, and therefore we try to provide the educational program and foundation for kids to succeed in college. However, realizing that a career is very important for some of our youngsters, we try to maintain a balance throughout the school so that we can provide good educational opportunities for those people who may not go on to a four-year college. The philosophy of Robinson Secondary has always been to provide the best possible services that we can to one of the finest group of people in Fairfax County schools.
Although the school's size could be intimidating, Robinson has been organized into sub-schools to provide the intimacy of a much smaller institution.
Well, Robinson is a unique school, first of all, and it's one of the largest high schools, with high and intermediate schools in the state and probably the country. And we have over 4,000 students in grades 7 through 12. Now, the unique aspect of Robinson is that even though it's a large school, the way it's organized and the way that we work with the students, in which we break them down into 6 small sub-schools, and each of those sub-schools, the students will have their own principal, their own counselors, and most of their teachers. So they get a small school feeling in a large school complex. And I think what's unique about Robinson is the fact that we have over 4,000 students, but I feel that throughout the years and the tradition that's been developed here at Robinson, that the students feel a closeness to one another. And if you observed as you walked around the halls, or as you move around the school and you see the kids eating in the cafeteria, you would find that they seem to be very close, even though they are in a large situation.
For the students at Robinson, the school's size provides opportunities that may not exist at smaller schools. A wide variety of course offerings and extracurricular activities is supported by a student body of varied interests. Let's take a look now at some of the offerings at Robinson Secondary from the music, art, government, and science departments. And a little later, we'll look at some of the extracurricular activities that get students involved. Over 500 students are involved in Robinson's music program, which includes instruction in instrumental and vocal technique. Students at all grade levels have the opportunity to take part in the various music programs, which have been successful in competition and in training young musicians for a lifetime love of music.
This is the Robinson Concert Orchestra, made up of 7th and 8th graders. On the average, they've been playing 4 to 5 years on their particular instrument, and several of them were selected for the District 11 Junior Regional Orchestra, and 8 of them will be going on to participate in the first Fairfax County Orchestra, which will be held at the end of March. We perform several times throughout the year, and currently we are getting ready to participate in the District 11 Orchestra Festival in mid-March. We perform there every year, and we regularly receive superior and excellent ratings. I would say 99% of the students go on to participate in the various high school orchestras, and we continue working and striving to develop them musically throughout their high school career. Today we are preparing for the warm-up piece for the District Festival, Voluntary by Henry Purcell, and we are also working on a popular tune that is current now somewhere out there from An American Tale.
Although many of the students in the orchestra take private lessons, they all seem to enjoy performing with the group.
I think all the friends you make, and Mrs. Dow-Wilson is a lot of fun. She's very encouraging. I play the violin in the orchestra, and I play the piano out of the orchestra. And I chose to play the violin because the piano is a solo instrument, and I like to play in groups.
Another performing group in the Robinson Music Program is the Concert Band, the top performing organization in the intermediate school.
This is the top performing band at the intermediate level. This is the Robinson Intermediate Concert Band. This group is made up of 63 students, 7th and 8th grade levels. This year we have 19 students from this organization participating in the District 11 Regional Band, which will be taking place this year at West Springfield High School. Currently, the band is preparing for the District 11 Band Festival, which we have the distinction this year of hosting here at Robinson. The band is preparing selections in grade 5, on a scale from 1 to 6, 6 being the most difficult. 5 is quite challenging for this organization.
As students rehearse in class, attention is given to balance, blend, tempo, intonation, rhythmic problems, entrance problems, and musical phrasing. All the work and effort at the intermediate level has not only resulted in success for 7th and 8th grade performing groups, but also in students better prepared for participation in the high school music program. Robinson's music program also includes 5 classes of guitar instruction for 135 students. Music Department Chair Glen McCarthy tells about the program.
The guitar program at Robinson is nationally recognized for its approach to teaching guitar. I like to call it a salt and sugar approach because what we use is what I call sugar, which is using contemporary literature, stuff that's on the radio, and you'll have an example of that as far as a song called Nobody's Fool by a group called Cinderella. And the salt is learning the music fundamentals. An example of that is another song that the students will be playing, and that's an old folk song called Orally.
These first-year music students enjoy the salt and sugar approach to learning guitar. because they are able to learn the fundamentals of music along with popular songs. The love of popular music is the reason why many students take guitar in the first place. But students soon find that playing a radio is a lot easier than playing a guitar.
A lot harder than I thought it was going to be, but I mean, just a lot of practice. It comes easier as you keep practicing.
Well, when I first started in 9th grade, that was a lot of fun because I had only been playing guitar for about 7 months, and I learned a lot of new things from both Mr. McCarthy and also other students that had been exposed to different techniques. So a lot of them were better than me, and I just started to get a taste for scales and improvising and intermediate guitar. And as I moved up into advanced guitar the next year, I started to get exposed to more classical and also pieces involving different parts, ensemble pieces. So that was new to me, and well, it was a good experience.
Robert Goheen, the U.S. ambassador to India, explained, until the superpowers...
Let's move on now to see another side of classroom life at Robinson. These government students have been involved in a study of the Constitution, which involves simulations of the executive, legislative, and judicial branches.
All right, this is the advanced placement government class, and we have tried to put, I guess, the Constitution into practice through simulation. We have started first by studying the Constitution, the executive branch, and then the legislative branch. And then the students have studied the various agencies of the executive branch. They made legislative proposals that the president could adopt into the State of the Union. And then following that, they became members of the Senate representing states and proposing bills for their interest of their states and for the interest of whatever committees they had been assigned to. And after all the committee action, they are now in plenary session where they are going to be debating on the floor some of those bills that they have worked on.
And we would like to attach it as an amendment to this bill, which is that the Panama Canal Treaty be revoked immediately.
From this exercise, students learn parliamentary procedure, the role of special interest groups, the significance of majority and minority party roles, and the impact of conflicting ideologies in the legislature.
What we have just seen is a travesty of democracy and a travesty in the hope of promoting democracy.
At Robinson, students are encouraged to take an active role in their education. In this class, that means doing research, forming an opinion, and supporting that opinion throughout the assignment.
As the enthusiasm grows and the teachers in other classrooms talk about how that carries over through the day, where they're debating during other classes, during break, and during lunch about the particular bills that they're involved with. And the research is very intensive because they really want to prove their point. They really dig in.
I've learned how aggravating it can be to try to get some of your legislation passed. I was aware that a lot of talk went on, but I wasn't exactly sure how much talk. I know that some of the senators or representatives can be extremely long-winded. And seeing as I was the President of the United States earlier, when all my approved legislation actually came to the legislature, it was surprising how much of it wasn't passed, even though I thought that it had some very good points to it. And apparently, it's just the main thing I've learned about the legislative process is that it's not that easy as you might think to get something passed.
Although the role-playing was at times frustrating, students learned a valuable lesson from this activity.
What I learned most about the Constitution was its ability to adapt to changing times. We studied the Constitution in its original form, and the amendments have been made and the way it's changed through the years. And what amazed me was the way the government evolved in many ways, not quite the way the founders had expected it to. And yet, through all the changes, the Constitution was able to adapt and keep our government functioning the way it should.
Let's move on now to the art department at Robinson Secondary. Students who are interested in art may choose from a variety of course offerings designed to promote self-expression, self-confidence, creative and conceptual thinking, and an awareness and appreciation of the various art forms. The art staff strongly feels that art comes from within and does its best to help students find the area of art that best suits their talents.
We have our programs, sequential learning programs, where they go from very elementary type of artwork to more advanced artwork, and they have quite a variety of things that they're exposed to. They go, if they have drawing in my class, they have more advanced drawing in the Art 3 and Art 4. Yes, I teach the Art 1 and Art 2 here at Robinson. We have a major emphasis on the potter's wheel and clay work. It's one of the reasons I came to Robinson, to help with that program. The students I find who have no success in other media end up having success in clay and building confidence in themselves. It's really kind of a nice thing that happens to them. We find that a lot of students who normally don't do well scholastically, once they do well in clay, they have this confidence, they go on and do well in their other subjects.
As students gain confidence in their artwork, they begin to experiment with the medium. In painting, for instance, students experiment with color and technique, trying to create a mood.
Definitely. For a mood that's softer and a little more peaceful, the brushstrokes I think would be smaller and the colors would definitely be paler. And if I was trying to do a painting where she was upset, or if she was in a real different environment, there would be stronger brushstrokes and brighter colors, reds maybe, and really strong brushstrokes.
Students involved in printmaking can also experiment with color. And since more than one print can be made from a single block, there's the opportunity to try many different ways.
Students usually respond enthusiastically to a printmaking project because a printmaking project, the process itself, actually enhances a drawing or a painting, even the simplest ones. It's also another excellent way to get more than one from an original. The students that are working today are doing linoleum block printmaking. It's a relief process. They put the ink on top of a plate, roll it with a brayer, and get an image that is burnished onto a piece of paper. The ones that you see behind me are many different kinds of printmaking that we have done throughout this quarter.
While some techniques carry over from one form of art to another, students find that the greatest differences exist between commercial and traditional art forms.
Well, I've taken years of both, so I can tell you that commercial art is completely different from the fine arts in that you have to analyze what you do a lot more. You're usually doing it for someone, so you want to do it how they want it, not necessarily what you want as an artist. You have to do it to their specifications. You work around mathematics, you work around size, and you do a lot of composition work, making sure things go right together. Our teacher, Mr. Nelson, who teaches a great commercial art class, has been teaching it for years. He knows what to point out as what's important in the real world and real advertising. And it's a great course here at Robinson. It's one of the best art courses you can take here, I think.
I feel one of the strongest things that's going on with the arts nowadays is because there's a push in education to fill our heads with knowledge, to get the academic diplomas, to have some marketable skills, and we're scanning the surface of the individuals. We provide here in the arts an opportunity for a student to develop the character, something within him, through self-expression, through perception, through being able to communicate something deeper than just receiving some head knowledge. And I think it's kind of it touches their character, and it lets them develop their character, which I think is so important.
Every aspect of Robinson's art department is carefully considered so that students get the most out of their art education. Even the facility was designed to look more like an art center than a school hallway. Students take great pride in displaying their work in the art wing and in the school's main hall, and over the years, many Robinson students have been recognized for their fine work. From the artistic to the scientific, let's spend some time now in the science department. In this intermediate science class, students are learning about navigation as part of a special pilot program called The Voyage of the Mimi.
This year, Robinson's most pleased to be having and researching the Voyage of the Mimi. The Voyage of the Mimi consists of a whaling research vessel that leaves the coast of Massachusetts and conducts research concerning the whales in the northeastern sea. The multimedia approach program, again, which is being piloted by Robinson as the second year, incorporates video, computers, and printed materials.
Plot this line on your chart. Plot it on your chart.
Quality classroom instruction is a top priority at Robinson, and at both the high school and intermediate level, teachers make every effort to present the latest information using the latest technology.
All right, one of the main things with the Mimi unit that has been interesting for us is the use of computers. For us, it's a first. Now, I have had to learn a lot about computers. Some of the students know a whole lot more than I do about it. We have 4 computer modules. Each of these is relevant to the Mimi as a whole. I have already done the maps and navigation, which is what my students are working on behind me right now, the computer activities that go with the maps and navigation. We have the ecosystems module. One of the best ones, though, that we have is the Bank Street Laboratory that we can use in our pollution labs and also in our initial labs at the beginning of the year for taking temperatures, light, and sound. And the students can work with these quite a bit.
Okay, continue noticing that degree in terms of looking at
I think if we go right
the direction in which you're going.
No, we have to go. No, if we go, we're gonna miss it. If we go that way, we're gonna miss it.
And looking at exactly west, what degree reading? Exactly west, what degree reading?
265. No, 270 is directly west.
Exactly, because it's divided 360 degrees divided into 4. Okay, 270.
You might want to go still a little further down so we're almost on our same course.
What do you think about that suggestion?
We were on no, it'd be quicker. It'd be quicker right there.
Yeah. Well, some of them are easy, but some of them are challenging because you have to really know your longitude and latitude to find it.
Well, they're very interested in the story. It's like a continuing soap opera of the Voyage of the Mimi. Will they make it? Are they going to find whales and things like that? And it is a way of getting something educational in the students that's also enjoyable. Now, if you say it's educational, they might get turned off, but when it's a computer activity, they translate that into being a game, and that's fun. And they can learn quite a bit just from playing these activities.
Well, some of the favorite things about the computer activities that I think is that they're really fun and they have good graphics. And I think that some computer games that schools have aren't that fun, but they're trying to teach you a lot. And the school games that they have here are fun and they teach you a lot from the games.
Well, it makes learning more fun because you get to see what happens in action and you get to do more stuff on your own.
In science and other areas across the curriculum, the Robinson staff is committed to providing educational excellence to all students. When the school day ends, Robinson's commitment to excellence continues with a variety of after-school activities. In addition to the athletic program, Robinson also offers many other opportunities for students to get involved. For newcomers to the school, there's the Novus Club, which promotes activities for new students.
Because Robinson is so large, okay, that
many new students feel lost, and especially the first day. You know, you don't know who you're going to eat lunch with or anything. And we help them, we show them around, and we help them with their schedules. We eat lunch with them, and we schedule activities which will help get them to know more students than the students that are just in their classrooms.
The Novus Club cares about new students, and their projects usually include a gesture of friendship. During the holiday season, for instance, members distributed candy canes and greeting cards to approximately 150 new students. Another organization that emphasizes service, along with scholarship, character, and leadership, is the National Honor Society. In a simulated interview for the school paper, NHS officers described the club.
The initial requirement is a grade point average of 3.5 or above. That's a B+. After that, they have to fill out an application in which they write a paragraph each about character, service, and leadership, basically describing what their view on each of those qualities is and how they display it in their own life. Then once all the applications are received, the sponsors go out and recruit a few other teachers, and about 10 teachers go through all these applications and select who will be members.
Members of the NHS not only serve the school, but also serve the community in many of their projects. Students Against Drunk Driving, another club at Robinson, also coordinates activities in the school and community.
What we try to do is the awareness comes in the fact that we try to have different activities that remind people that there are a lot of dangers of drinking and driving. Most people in our school do agree that it's dangerous, but sometimes people are people and they make errors, and we're just trying to bring up the awareness. So we have different activities throughout the year. We started out at homecoming season with a float, which went across the field with other floats, which was a good awareness tactic. We're trying now to develop a 10K race, which gets people involved in our activities and what we're doing. And our final event for the year is going to be Project Graduation, which is a big event for most clubs in the United States. What we do is right around graduation and prom season, we develop different types of tactics and programs that try to remind people right before the time that there are a lot of dangers of drinking and driving and remind them not to do it. We have assembly in the beginning of the graduation week, and then we're going to have other club activities throughout the week.
In addition to the many service clubs at Robinson, there are also clubs for students with special interests in specific areas of the curriculum. Students on the math team practice their math skills and compete in national, state, and county competitions.
Well, all the different levels are 6 problems that each student takes, and they have anywhere between 30 to 36 minutes to take these problems. They do it individually and turn in their answers at the end of the time.
There's usually one problem that just about everybody gets. Other than that, all the problems are pretty tough.
Well, it's allowed me to hone my math skills and to demonstrate my math abilities. It's helped me a great deal in calculus and some of my other classes.
Anyone should be able to do them. If you're okay in math, you can be able to do it in meets. It doesn't matter if you're a girl or a guy.
No, everyone is welcome. We like to have all students that are, as I said, have an interest in math and would like to develop their interest in math.
As the math team provides opportunities for students interested in honing their mathematical skills, the theater sports team helps students develop skills in dramatic improvisation. Teacher Chip Rome brought theater sports to Robinson, and it has spread to other high schools across the county. Because of the improvisational nature of the activity, it gives students the chance to get involved in theater without the long-term commitment of a full production. Robinson Secondary School, in its quest for excellence, is providing valuable educational opportunities to all students. In the classroom, students are challenged, encouraged to take part in activities, and given the chance to explore their talents. Additional opportunities are available through special programs and organizations designed to give every student the chance to get involved.
I think it has a tremendous amount of opportunities, no matter in any field. I mean, as far as your studies or your clubs or your sports or your social life, anything that you want to, any different kinds of aspects of your high school life. I mean, you have so many different choices to embark upon.
Robinson Secondary, a unique school in Fairfax County, offering all students the opportunity for excellence.